Are you seeking ways to be able to learn how to overcome imposter syndrome as an online coach, course creator, or service provider? Do you often question your expertise, feeling like you're not skilled enough despite your achievements? These doubts can lead to anxiety, can lead to the relentless pursuit of perfection and procrastination in your online coaching and course business. However, it's important to recognize that you're not alone in this journey. Research from the International Journey of Behavioral Science indicates that about 70% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point, and it doesn't go away, right? It's always going to be there. So, our goal here is to understand when it is arising, to be able to recognize the signs, and to be able to determine and create effective strategies to overcome these challenging feelings. Let's go to the next slide. In this training, we are going to learn more about imposter syndrome and how it manifests itself as chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence, right? That feeling like a fraud, feeling like you're not ready enough. It affects high achievers who are unable to accept and internalize their success. So this kind of looks like often being told that you're doing a good job at work, maybe winning awards at work, in your career, or in your personal online. If you have a business as an entrepreneur at home, you don't internalize the success as your own. You often think it was a fluke, it was just good luck, or you don't accept that praise when you receive those awards and those high accolades, because you feel like that you're a fraud, that you're faking it until you're making it. It also can significantly impact both your mental health and your growth in your coaching business. Imposter syndrome can lead to stress, burnout, overcompensating by working harder. Let me know if that's you. That was me. That often is where that manifests and shows up as a sign for me in my business, when I keep feeling like I need to work harder to prove my worth and to prove that I am valuable enough and doing the right things. And it's really where you're paying into your confidence there. So it can lead to stress, it can lead to burnout, it can hinder your success. And that burnout, again, comes from constantly worrying about that, constantly overworking or trying to work harder and do all of the things to prove your worthiness, because you feel like you are not worthy because you're struggling with this imposter syndrome. So in this training, you're going to learn how to understand imposter syndrome. We're going to be diving into strategies to help you overcome this imposter syndrome, how to build confidence and authority and authenticity as an online coach, course creator, and service provider, and then practical tools for digital entrepreneurs that you can implement in your own online course and coaching business as you are moving through your journey through starting, growing, and scaling in a successful online coaching business and course creation business. So who is this training for? So this training is specifically designed for a range of individuals who are on the journey to establishing and growing your presence in the online digital world. So this looks like this training is going to be good for aspiring and new coaches. So if you're just starting your coaching and course creation journey, you're looking to solidify your early steps, this training is going to really help you address the unique challenges that you face. This is very, very common. I talk to people every single day in my business, whether it's a prospect that I'm talking with, to a new coach or course creator that has joined my program, on how this impacts you and how you feel like you're not ready enough. You've been sitting on this idea for a long time, but you feel like you just need another course, you need another program, you need more training, you need more expertise, all of those things. If that is you, you're in the right place and by tuning into this training today. So stay tuned for that. If you are a course creator, new or experienced course creator, this is good for you, because it's going to help you to be able to, if you're creating or planning online courses, it's going to help you to understand and overcome imposter syndrome, because this is crucial. We're going to dive into how these feelings can impact the course creation process and the ability to connect authentically with your audience. If you're a service provider, an online service provider, and you offer digital services, whether it's marketing, writing, design, or any other field, this training is going to help you recognize and tackle the self-doubts that can come with offering your skills online. So we're going to focus on how to present your services with confidence and authenticity. And those individuals that are seeking to launch an online successful coaching business or online course business, no matter what business you're looking to pursue, the feelings of being an imposter can significantly hold you back. So we're going to be discussing how this manifests in various online business scenarios and provide the strategies to confidently step you into your entrepreneurial CEO mindset and role. So how we're going to dive in throughout this training, we're going to take a deep dive of imposter syndrome and how it shows up in your online coaching and course business. We're going to cover everything from the initial signs of self-doubt and how the more subtle ways it can infiltrate I can't say that word, infiltrate your decision making and your creativity. With a mix of practical advice and personal insights and actionable steps, you're going to learn how to tackle these feelings head on, paving a way for a more confident and successful online business journey. So if you haven't met me, hello, my name is Shannon Martel, and I am a business coach and marketing strategist. And I bring you nearly 3 decades of rich experience in the wealth industry. My journey spans from holding pivotal corporate leadership positions, such as a regional support manager, an area operations manager, to overseeing marketing and sales and training and development and lending and operations in that role, to successfully starting and growing my own successful online coaching business since 2019. But despite my extensive experience, I have faced my fair share of challenges, particularly with imposter syndrome. And at times, this has significantly hindered my growth. It has also spun off and led to many other things that manifested as a result of that. And we'll dive into that here in a bit. But however, through these experiences, I've developed effective strategies and systems that have not only helped me to overcome these obstacles, but have also proven very invaluable to my students within my coaching programs to help them get success. So I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to share these insights with you. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by self-doubt, if you struggle to recognize your own worth, your own expertise, I invite you to stay tuned and explore this valuable training that I have for you today to help you overcome imposter syndrome. Also, I have for you as well, let me just add this to the stage here for you, this free guide that you can take advantage of. I have it linked in the description box below, but this is the Overcoming Imposter Syndrome. Embrace your unique strengths and abilities and let go of the limitations imposed by imposter syndrome. So make sure after this video that you go ahead and take advantage of that and grab that. Again, it is linked for you in the description box below. So this will give you a hands-on guide that you can implement into your daily routine and practices every day to help you kick this imposter syndrome to the curb once and for all and take control of your life. So let's see, get into the training here. Let me just switch my screen. Did we get it? There we go. All right. So as we're starting to dive in, before we really get going in the training, I would love to learn more about you. So your stories, where you're from, your unique business journey you're embarking on is really incredibly important to me. This not only helps me tailor my training to better suit your needs, but it helps to really foster a sense of community among all of us. Especially when you're a solopreneur working from home, this can be a very lonely journey, like if you're doing this alone. So my desire, my intention is really to foster community here. Even if you are tuning in from this video training on YouTube, we have a community of like-minded coaches, course creators, service providers that we can really get to know one another, connect, collaborate, and just be each other's cheerleaders, right, along the way. So let us know where you're from. Go ahead and start by sharing your background. It's always fascinating to know where you reside in the world, to really understand what that global reach is and the variety of markets that we serve. And then share your business with us, whether or not you're already running a successful business or nurturing a budding idea. I'd love to hear it. This is a safe space for you to be able to share and celebrate the steps that you're taking on your entrepreneurial journey. And then the next step is to go ahead and share your socials. So feel free to drop your social media handles and platforms down in the description box or the comments below. This is a great opportunity to be able to network, support each other, and perhaps even collaborate with one another in the future. And then I invite you to go ahead, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and share this video. So this helps you to be the first to get notified in the future of new video releases when they drop each week, as well as it helps to be able to grow my channel. This is a new channel on YouTube. So I'm really excited to be able to grow this and to be able to provide valuable resources and training to online coaches, course creators, and service providers like you. So by having your support, it means the world to me, and it helps to get my message out, my training and resources out to many other people in the world, just like you, that can benefit from this training. So I appreciate you doing that. This is not a dialogue. This is a conversation. So I encourage you to be an active participant in fostering the sense of community with this channel. So as we go along, any questions that you have, any thoughts that you have that could provide more value or insight to this training, to make it the best training that you have participated in and to be able to help others, I invite you to put that down in the comments below. So participate, and let us know where we can find you online. All right, so diving in, why overcoming imposter syndrome is a crucial aspect of your professional and personal growth. There are immense benefits that come with conquering self-doubt. So the first thing where we need to start is really understanding the importance of it. So we need to understand why it's important. It's not just that overcoming imposter syndrome isn't just about feeling more confident, but it's really about unlocking your full potential in your business and your personal life. It leads to clearer decision-making. It fosters innovation. It opens up a new world of opportunities that you might have thought were previously beyond your reach. So let me give you a success story of a student that I worked with. So one of my incredible clients, that when I first started working with her, her background was that she was in the medical career, like she was in the medical field. She'd been in the medical field for over 20 years. And despite her extensive experience and success, she struggled with an intense imposter syndrome, particularly when it came to creating and launching her first online program. When I met this student that I started working with, when she first came to me, she had been already involved and invested in multiple coaching programs, right? To be able to, she had just come off the tail end of completing a 6-month coaching program. And she was in the midst of building her course, building all of the, the modules out and the slideshows out and all the resources and the portal, building all of the things, but hadn't launched, right? Hadn't even gotten on camera yet. She had a huge, immense fear of getting visible, getting on camera, really worried about what other people would think, feeling like a fraud, feeling like she wasn't ready enough. Part of this showed up because the course that she was creating was, I'll just come back on camera for a second. The course that she was creating was all about, was all about her health loss, her weight loss journey, right? So she had lost over 100 pounds, was doing phenomenal, had really started taking the steps to transform her life, was doing the things as far as building the business on the back end, right? But she had this huge fear of, and this imposter syndrome showing up again, like, who's going to want it? Fear that, what are people going to think? I'm not sure if I can post this online. She didn't have those skills, and she just felt like she wasn't ready enough. She also felt like an imposter because she hadn't reached her ultimate weight loss goal. And let me know if this is you, if you can resonate with this at all, where you feel like you're not ready enough because you haven't met that pinnacle of success yet in your mind. So this could look like if you are, achieving, have a, what do you call it? Like a health issue where maybe you're overcoming like an eating disorder. We'll use that for example. You're overcoming eating a disorder, and you have had a lot of success in there, but so sometimes that still pops up and becomes an issue. Or maybe you're helping somebody overcome like issues with fibroids, or you're helping someone with sleep training, but your kid is still not 100% sleeping through the night, right? So this can show up like that in a lot of different ways as far as that is concerned, where you feel like because you're not 100% at the goal or the threshold, you feel like you're not ready enough yet. And I want to tell you, this is the biggest misconception. This is the biggest lie. And that's that inner critic. And that's kind of like where that lady here is looking in the mirror. That's like you looking in the mirror and the self-doubt. And you can see like she's very gray. She's like, you can't do it. You're not ready enough. You don't have what it takes. Nobody's going to like what you have to offer. You're not going to be successful. Who do you think you are to be able to do this? Like, you're just wasting your time. All of that stuff that inner critic says to you and lies to you, telling you that you don't have what it takes. And I want to tell you that that is a lie. That is old self-limiting beliefs that you have picked up along the way. You're not born with that, right? You're not born believing those things or even thinking those things about yourself. Somewhere along the way throughout your journey, you've picked up those thoughts. So going back to my client, as we started to unravel where some of these thoughts and beliefs were really hindering her and what was keeping her stuck, and then giving her these bite-sized little milestone or steps to take to achieve these little mini milestones, she then was able to go live for the first time and start working with her first paying clients. And since then, my client has gone on to launch multiple coaching programs, is doing the work in the career of her life. She's relocated her kids. She was able to move her family. She was living in a toxic situation, and she was able to leave that toxic relationship, relocate her kids, get a new place to live, which she absolutely loves, and travel and really live that work from anywhere lifestyle. She bought herself an RV and her, whatever you call it, motorhome, and she is now traveling all over this Pacific Northwest with her children, doing the work she loves, making the impact, the income, and really investing in herself and her clients. So I want to share that story with you to let you know that no matter where you are, it's okay, right? Like, that's our baseline. It's important to understand and to recognize, like really notice where we're at and acknowledge it, so we know what to work with to go from there. So know that this girl, this man or woman that's in the mirror saying, you can't do it. You're not ready. You're not worth it. Let's kick it to the curb and let's reframe it, and let's get back into the driver's seat of your life and being able to really create the successful online coaching business and course business that you dream of, so you can create the freedom, so you can go and create that work from anywhere lifestyle that you so desire. So I got a little bit on a rant there, but you can see that I'm really excited and passionate about this. I know firsthand, believe me, I know firsthand what this looks like. Even when I was in corporate and, I would win the top awards year after year after year, I was winning the top awards in my industry. I still felt like, well, I only got it 98%. I didn't get that 100%, or like it had to be a fluke, or like, I don't even know how I did that. Like, I never felt like, one, I wasn't allowing that praise to come in, but I wasn't also believing it, right? I wasn't looking at myself the way others looked at me, right? And that's the most important person and the most important words that you believe are the words that you say to yourself, right? The words that you say to yourself. You can hear all day long people telling you, you're great, you're incredible, your programs are incredible. But if you don't believe it yourself, and that's not the dialogue you have with yourself, you're never going to reach the dreams that you have. So we're going to work on all of that today. So diving into the next slide here, we're going to, inside this training today, we're going to go through a step-by-step roadmap that is going to help you, number one, understand again what imposter syndrome is. So understanding that it's more than, I lost my notes here. It's more than just this occasional self-doubt, but it's that consistent internal, like I was saying, like what is that message going on in your brain? What's that consistent dialogue? If you were to record yourself all day and the messages that come through, what would that recording sound like, right? And if it's not good, that's okay. Again, we're going to notice where we're at so we can become aware of what that dialogue is going on in your brain, to know where to make those adjustments, to learn how to recognize it, release it, right? Release it and start creating a powerful dialogue that supports you and your goals. So let me think, here we go. So understanding how crucial it is to understand what it is. That nagging feeling, again, a voice inside your head says you're not good enough despite the evidence of your success. It's very prevalent amongst coaches, course creators, and online service providers, especially when you're coming from that corporate role where maybe, or that 9-to-5 role where maybe you had, again, your bosses or leaders constantly like giving you that praise. You have to become your own cheerleader, right? Because you don't have somebody doing that anymore. So you have to learn how to be able to do that for you. So we're going to talk about step 2 is how to manage that imposter syndrome. So once we understand it, we need strategies to be able to manage it. So this step is about the practical tools to be able to deal with those immediate feelings of doubt and insecurity and that inadequacy. We're going to explore the techniques to be able to stabilize those emotional responses and set the stage for building deeper and lasting confidence. Then step 3 is how to build that confidence, how to build that muscle, right? So now that we move beyond just managing the symptoms, this step is about actively building your confidence. So we're going to focus on methods that are going to boost your self-esteem, reinforce your beliefs as in your abilities and your own self-worth. And remember, confidence is key in your journey as a successful online entrepreneur and leader. Step 4 is planning for success. So with this newfound confidence, it's time to plan for success. So this step really involves setting clear, smart goals and making strategic plans. So how does this overcoming imposter syndrome fit into your broader personal and professional objectives? Here, we're going to lay out that roadmap for your long-term success. And then step 5 is how do you sustain that success? Because that's a whole nother thing, right? Is like one of the major fears in new online coaches and course creators is fear of success, right? Because, you know, we have a thinking mind and we have an emotional mind. The one that wins is the emotional mind. So we really, when this emotional mind is afraid of success because it's afraid that you can't sustain it, it's going to sabotage you. So we're going to learn how to really overcome this imposter syndrome and with an ongoing process. We're going to discuss how to maintain the progress of your continual growth. This also includes building a supportive network and embracing lifelong learning, right? That you are kind of like the product of the people that you surround yourself with. You know, they say the top 5 people that you surround yourself with, you are a product of that, but you're also a product and have control over what you are feeding your brain, right? And which those messages, especially in the online marketing spaces that you are bombarded with every single day, that tell you and reinforce and agitate those pain points and problems, right? We're not available for that anymore. And we're going to talk about how to overcome that. So going into the next slide, if you're down for this, you're excited about this, go ahead and drop, again, like if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead, subscribe to this channel, give the video some like and love so we can go ahead and push it out to more people like you. I would really appreciate your support. So the next slide here we're talking about is diving deeper into the specifics of imposter syndrome, beginning with its definition and the most symptoms that are commonly experienced. So again, it's more than just an occasional self-doubt. It's this continual internal narrative, this dialogue that undermines your accomplishments. Again, it's like that critic in the background, making sure I have the right slide on, that critic in the background that is constantly like the devil on your shoulder. You're not good enough. You're not qualified enough. success is just luck or it's a deception, right? It's not based on the natural results of the work that you do, right? The natural consequence of your actions is saying like, oh, it was just a fluke. If you are successful, it was just a fluke, or it wasn't based on the efforts that you've done. It's a mindset that persists despite of the evidence of your competence and achievements. Again, kind of showing you or sharing with you that no matter how successful I was in my corporate position, I still felt like I was unworthy of the recognition, or still felt like I hadn't done enough to earn that title. So I would do more, work harder, which eventually led to burnout and disability. So we want to understand where it's showing up, how to recognize the symptoms to be able to overcome that. So some more of the common symptoms that show up for imposter syndrome and how it can manifest are, again, that imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud, right? That fake it till you make it. That can be a way of self-sabotaging too, because fake it till you make it is still a belief, is still not believing in yourself. You still believe that you're faking it, and you believe that you're going to be found out, right? That when people start working with you in your coaching programs and online courses, that you're going to be found out, and they're going to find out that you really aren't as experienced as you think you should be, right? So that's one way it shows up. Another way it shows up is attributing success and external factors like luck rather than your own skills. Fear of not meeting expectations or being exposed as a fraud. Again, like, the fear of being successful, that once people start working with you, they're going to find out that you don't know it all. Let me give you a hint. You're never going to know it all, right? Even the massive supercomputers don't know it all. So let that go. And then difficulty accepting praise or recognizing your own expertise. So how does this impact coaches and course creators? So the symptoms can be very particularly limiting, and they might cause you to hesitate on sharing your own expertise or launching new courses. How many of you have boatloads of courses and digital products on your hard drive or on your computer that you haven't shared out in the world because you just keep getting ready? Like my student that I was talking about earlier, she kept just building out the program, building out the tools, building out the resources, but never launched them, right? And in addition, when you're creating in a cave, you don't really know that what you're creating is what your student actually needs to help them to be successful. And the only way to know is to ask them what they want, understand what their problems are, and help solve those problems and help them to get a result. So we that's how that kind of shows up. You over prepare, overwork, you're driven by fear of being seen as a fraud. That, again, like that perfectionism doesn't exist, right? And when you strive for perfectionism, the goal line always moves, right? Because there is no finish line, right? Because you're always trying to get, I'm not saying don't try to improve, put your offers out in the world though. Put them out in the world, test them, tweak them, refine them, rinse and repeat, right? Let's get them out in there. That's the only way we're going to help people and really create the impact that you desire. Shy away from opportunities because you believe that, like, because of your self-doubt in yourself, you don't believe that you are experienced enough, or maybe, especially like if kind of thinking about like against peers or against people in the industry that may have more success than you, or maybe you are a health coach and you feel like you aren't as experienced as maybe a doctor. But a doctor a lot of times looks at the physical bodies or the organs, not necessarily the mindset piece of it. And a lot of times they're like, on paper, on the x-rays, you look fine, but that's not what the problem is. The problem is it's how the mind is working. And that's where you can really help to share your expertise on how you were able to overcome, your problem and get the transformation that you help with. But that's how that shows up. So it's important to understand these symptoms and the impact on how it is very crucial to understand, because it's the first step in really being able to address and overcome these objections or these pain points that you're having that are keeping you stuck from really being able to go out there and launch your online services. So the next step is, or step one is actually understanding, again, like this imposter syndrome. So having the defined imposter syndrome, the common symptoms, let's talk about like this first step of really understanding this imposter syndrome and understanding how crucial it is for effectively being able to tackle it. So again, like, this can hinder your growth and success as an online coach or course creator because it often, again, you miss opportunities because you feel like you don't have confidence in your abilities. So, are you not showing up and making offers to clients? Are you not getting visible and sharing your offers out in the world? Are you not booking sales calls with clients, to be able to share what your offers are because you feel like you're not experienced enough? Or you turning down collaboration opportunities, or maybe you're limiting your potential by not applying for projects or speaking engagements that you're fully qualified for, but you don't feel like you're qualified. Again, that inner critic. Maybe that you have decreased productivity and creativity as a constant self-doubt consumes and significantly robs, like it's like an energy thief. So it's robbing that energy because your brain is so consumed with this imposter syndrome, feelings of low self-worth and self-doubt. So recognizing again where we're at, noticing these patterns in your behavior, noticing what that dialogue truly is the first step, right? Again, if you were to record what's going on in your brain all day long, like what is that inner critic saying to you? So it's important to understand, like, again, even too, where the roots of this imposter syndrome often lie. It doesn't mean like we have to stay stuck in it forever. Certainly don't need to do that. But it's kind of like messages of like money, money doesn't grow on trees, or it's the root of all evil, or things that maybe perhaps you heard as a child from a parent or a teacher or significant other, whoever that is, that kind of embedded in your psyche, and you don't even realize that that's what's driving the show. So it's important to kind of understand like what those expectations were. What were you told as a child? Were you told not to shine, right? Were you told that you were too much? That you needed to tone it down a little bit. That was something that happened to me in school too. When I was in kindergarten, I remember I constantly was like making hundreds on all of my tests. So the teacher was trying to boot me off to the daycare and, not let me stay with my friends all day long. And the daycare, it was really mean and it was hot and they made you stay outside all day long. So I felt like, I was made to shine or dim my light because of my academic performance, right? Because if I was punished in a way, in my mind, I was punished in that way of not being able to stay at school, which I loved. I loved learning. I loved being with my friends, and was being punished for my brilliance. So another way that showed up for me too is my bio father also, said he wanted a boy. Like God was supposed to give him a boy and I was a girl. So I was rejected from the time that I was born because God was supposed to give him a boy, and I was a girl. So there was that feeling of not being accepted. And as human beings, our core driver, which drives us, is that need to be part of community. We are pack animals. We need to be part of community. We need that acceptance. And this imposter syndrome and how that shows up, if you don't feel accepted and you have these narratives playing in your mind that you don't even realize what's being said to you by you and how that's impacting you. So knowing where these past experiences are coming from, what made you feel inadequate to begin with, and then having a professional environment that values this perfectionism. So this often shows up like, again, in corporate, I spent many, many years in corporate auditing, right? And in charge of operations. So the I's had to be dotted and the T's had to be crossed. And now perfectionism had very, very high standards. And in the banking industry, it should, not saying it shouldn't, but it fed that. So understanding, where this perfectionism for me, like being declined or denied as being a girl to my father, made me work even harder as a student, trying to prove my worth through my right? Through my actions, trying to prove I was a straight A student. And, I was always the one cleaning the house and cooking the meals and like trying to be perfect, the perfect daughter, so I could win that acceptance. So when you get into other areas of life, if you haven't really recognized that, and how it feeds, that it's going to continue to play out. So step one is really, really important. Let me know if you're tracking with me, to really kind of giving some thought around that, do some journaling around that, and kind of when you had your early on signs of when it first started showing up for you, and maybe how those messages are still impacting you today. So we know what we're working with. So moving on to the next slide, now that we've laid the foundation and understanding what imposter syndrome is, the importance of understanding it, and the importance of understanding kind of where some of those feelings of inadequacy started. Here's where we want to flip the script, right? Go from, where is she? Go back a couple slides here. This imposter, this self-critic in the mirror, constantly giving you all these messages of I'm not worthy enough, I'm not ready enough, I'm not experienced enough, to the superpower, right? A superwoman stance who's like, I am confident, I can do this. My expertise and gifts are valuable to the world, and I love working with clients. My programs are sold out programs, and I help students to be able to get the most incredible transformations in the world, right? My programs are sold out. My roster is full of, I'm like constantly receiving testimonials every single day from people that I've helped to be able to transform their lives. Like, that's a mindset, that's an energy that you want to rewire, right? Messages you want to rewire and recode in your brain, so you can show up in your brilliance, and so you can really shine your light and help to be able to get the impact out there and help the students that you're meant to serve. So acknowledging your worth, and it's really good to be able to, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but really start, flip the script. So all of those things that you kind of jotted out on your journal paper of, all of the negative, right? So if you've got a column A and a column B, all of the negative comments and thoughts that are racing through your brain, those messages that are constantly bombarding you all day long. And then you've got the positive side. Let's flip it. So I'm not worthy enough. I am incredibly worthy. I was born worthy. I'm not experienced enough. I am experienced enough. I've already gotten incredible transformations through my own personal journey, and I have been called to serve the soulmate clients that I've been called to serve and help them get the incredible transformation that I've been able to figure out and overcome and get myself, right? So flip the script, start rewording, turn that negative, low vibe, dialogue into very positive, empowering dialogue to help you to step into your confidence and your authenticity as an online coaching course creator. So really recognizing those achievements, becoming your own cheerleader, right? So if you think about like a cheerleader, what's a cheerleader do? She's constantly cheering. She's, rah, 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 like, every move, every step, like, you've got this, you can do this, you're worthy, you're the best. Like, that's the energy, like, that's a conversation you want to start having with yourself to be able to reprogram your brain. And remember earlier on, I said, like, everything is in our brain is like, we have the intellectual side where we know, like, I have the experience, like intellectually, you know what you're doing, you have the experience and the expertise to be able to help people, that your gifts and talents are meant for the world, and that that they will be life-changing transformations for people. But emotionally, when you're scared, right, and you're feeling imposter syndrome and all of this other dialogue, our brains are hardwired to keep us safe, and again, keep us from being extradited from the pack, right? We're pack animals, community, connection. So if it thinks it's that fear, it thinks it's going to get us alienated from the pack, it's threatening your safety. It's going to keep you from taking action, right? So we want to rewire that. So turn all of that negative into positive. Take everything that you have in column A, which is the negative side, and reframe it into column B, even if it's not believable yet, right? Make it as believable as possible. Like, I am stepping into my brilliance now. Our brain only knows now. It doesn't future pace. So our brain only knows now. So make it believable because, it's like there's a book by Marissa Peer that talks about tell yourself a better lie. Our brains are like mega computers. So it doesn't matter what command you put in it, it's going to spit out that result. So you want to put in good commands. You want to put in good messages that are going to support your overall growth and success as an online coach or course creator. So go through that and, really then helping to build support networks. So again, like this can be a very alienating journey, like you sitting in your office by yourself, like, maybe you are working from home and you do have a family that lives there, but they're not, you're the one who has to get in front of the camera, right? You're the one that is working with coaches and clients, to be able to build your dreams and help them get the transformation. So sometimes other people don't understand what it is to be able to overcome and what it is to be able to, how lonely this journey can be and be able to overcome it. So you want to make sure that you are building support networks and you're also getting an accountability partner because there's nothing more powerful. You're more like 90 statistics show you're like 95% more successful by having an accountability partner. So whether that is working with a coach, whether that is finding someone that you can collaborate with, like another entrepreneur, whether that is holding yourself accountable by being in, whether it's a peer group or your own Facebook group, by putting it out there, committing online, like I'm launching this particular date, or I'm hosting this live, or I'm doing this training, whatever it is, by publicizing it into the world and having somebody to help hold you accountable, you're 95% more often to follow through, 6% to follow through because you committed to someone else, right? Because it's easy to cancel on yourself. Like it's easy to give yourself excuses and let those poor habits, a lot of that is just habits, let those habits keep you from having success. But when you've committed to someone else, you're more likely to succeed. So get yourself involved, get yourself a coach, get yourself an online community, get yourself someone to be able to collaborate with to help hold you accountable and help to kind of like shine that light on what may be going on that maybe you're too close to see that is keeping you stuck. So step 3 is building confidence. So moving forward in our journey, as we arrive to this stage, it's all about building confidence. Again, it's like building that muscle. And here you can see in the graphic I have here for you, it is about reinforcing that positive dialogue with yourself. So another thing that happens too, when I said like some of the signs and symptoms of imposter syndrome can be overworking. That can also look like, what do I mean by that? It can look like creating an impossible to-do list, right? Like having task lists. Guys, I'm not perfect in this. This is something I continue to work on every single day. It's building a muscle. If you don't continue to work it, the muscles go away, right? And you start to get, flabby and deconditioned. This is work we want to continue to do on an ongoing daily basis. So setting small goals, setting achievable goals so you can stay in integrity with yourself and doing what you don't want to do and doing it first. If I can tell you anything, and I have a training I'll link here below too that helps you with goal setting and being able to manage time mastery. But staying in integrity with your word is so, so powerful. So like I said, it's easy to quit on yourself. It's easy to give yourself excuses and allow yourself to, postpone and whatever. But if you start with doing the thing that scares you the most, I invite you to recognize that fear as a sign, as an indicator that you're on the right track, right? Because if you didn't care about it, you wouldn't feel the fear. If you didn't care about creating an online course or coaching business, you didn't care about making an impact in the world, you wouldn't feel that fear. You feel it because it's something new, right? So allow yourself to use that fear as that indicator that you're on the right track. Allow yourself to use that fear as rocket fuel to propel you forward. See it, acknowledge it, and say, hey, baby, we got it. I got you. Like she's doing in the picture. You can do this. We've got this. I am doing this, and I am excited to do this. And that reprograms that message in your brain that says, okay, we're excited. She says we're excited. Let's move forward. I don't need to manifest a headache or manifest something else negative, like, to keep her safe or keep him safe from harm. We can do this. We've got it. And then once you've done that, once you've got that initial win for your day, like, then you've got that momentum going, right, to help you move on to the next step and the next step. But you then start to identify yourself with being a winner, and you are a winner. You are a winner, right? Sometimes you were born a winner, right? We weren't born thinking this negative stuff. It just got kind of programmed and we got sidetracked. So now we get to get back in that driver's seat and have the opportunity to overcome that. So going back again to that list, create this smart, it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Again, I'll link the training down below. That there's a whole time mastery management mini course that you can go and help you with all of that. But set those small goals, continue with your skill development. Again, we are the equivalent of those 5 people that we surround ourselves with, as well as those messages that you are bombarding yourself with on a daily basis. So read more, get out into nature more, like really connect with why you're here. You are here. You are already gifted and talented. You were given your goals and dreams and your expertise for a reason. You were called to serve the people you were called. The fact that you have that calling and you have that desire, that's a sign right there that it's meant for you, that you're supposed to be doing this, right? You're supposed to be impacting people. And you're qualified enough, you're ready enough, right? Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. There is no such thing. But you get the opportunity once you pitch your offers out in the world and you start helping people to continue to review and improve and refine your offers to get better and better. So continue investing in yourself, hire a course or hire a mentor, hire a coach, invest in courses, continue developing your skills, because everything is a skill, guys. It's a skill. You weren't born knowing how to do all of this. Some people maybe were more naturally inclined to be maybe an artist or a musician or, whatever that is, but everything else is a skill and it can be learned. It can be perfected. I went in my career from, I was a teen mom. I was married and had children, 2 kids by the age of 17 years old. I graduated a year early. I graduated with my cosmetology license, and I spent the first 7 years of that first decade of my working career as a hairstylist. And I remember like having that confidence back in my early 20s of answering an ad. When I answered the ad for my corporate job, no experience necessary, will train, right? Benefits. I'm like, okay, yep, sign me up. Sorry, I had all these notifications pop up. Sign me up. I'm willing. And if you're willing, you're dedicated, you're committed, you're all in, then you can do this, right? You can do this. And I very quickly was able to excel in that career, from being that trainee teller all the way to regional leadership positions. So the same is for you, whether you are kind of that intern as a coach or an online course creator, I have a whole curriculum built out for you to help you to be able to build, grow, and scale your online coaches and course creation business. If that's something you want my support with, go ahead and apply to work with me. I'll have that link down here below for you as well. But I want you to think of it that way. Like, you don't have to be perfect when you start. There's no way you can be, right? There's no way you can be at the top of your game when you haven't necessarily built the muscle yet. Like, you're not going to be benching 150 pounds if you're not benching 5 pounds yet, right? So like, start where you are and allow that to encourage you and allow that fear to propel you to the next step. So step 4 with planning, the planning for success. So really taking the time to, as you're making progress and you're overcoming this imposter syndrome and this constant applications of the strategies that we've talked about, again, like recognizing, noticing where you're at, reprogramming that dialogue. Another thing that you can do too is create your own recording. So I have different affirmation recordings on my phone, and I just plug them in the morning when I first wake up, and you're just coming out of that REM stage of sleep and allowing that to be those messages that fuel your brain and reprogram your brain and allow your brain to know that it is safe to step in your brilliance. So taking all of those things, negative dialogue, and reprogramming it to the positive dialogue, and then tracking what your goals are and planning for the success. So daily reflections are important here. Allocate a few minutes each and every day, reflect on your achievements. Again, be your own cheerleader. Look at what wins you have, what areas of life did you excel at today. And I don't care if all you did is spend, an hour on this YouTube video training to help, that is a win, right? Because you invested in your online education, you invested in your personal growth for success. That is a win. Whether it's getting on the phone and having sales calls with prospects, whether it is working on your social media strategy, like whatever it is, just do something every single day that takes you one step forward in your online course creation and coaching business journey, and you will be successful. And then also look at those areas for growth. So what are the growth opportunities? Where did you not show up for yourself? What went, it's like what worked, what didn't work, and what can you improve on, right? That's your goal. Like your job as an online business owner we're in the business of solving problems. So connecting with our clients, understanding what their problems are, creating solutions, testing those solutions to help them get results, rinse and repeat, right? That is your job as an online business owner. So recognizing this as it's fresh for you is really important to better understand what's going on here and how you can continue to improve each and every day. So doing this regular self-assessment, periodically assessing your feelings and thoughts about this related imposter syndrome. Recognizing patterns is important so you can work on continuing to shift your mindset. So again, for instance, going live with my client, like the very first time she finally went live, she was so proud of herself. I was so proud of her, but more importantly, she was proud of herself. So that reinforced that behavior with my client to be able to say, hey, we're safe. We didn't die, right? We're still part of the pack. She likes it. She feels good. All of the good endorphins flow in your body. You're on the right step. And so the very next time it gets a little easier and it gets a little easier. And before you know it, you love it, right? You love being on camera and connecting with clients all over the world and helping them get the transformations and serve the people that you were called to serve. So recognizing the assessments, where are patterns showing up? Where are you self-sabotaging? Where are you quitting on yourself or not staying in integrity with your word? Where are you hiding? Like these are all like recognize again, what are those symptoms? What are the negative behaviors and habits that you have? And what do you want to change? And how can we continue? Be your own problem solver, right? Be your own best coach. And then again, like setting those SMART goals. And for instance, if your goal is to enhance your public speaking, setting a SMART goal could be to deliver a 30-minute webinar on course creation techniques by the end of next month, in using feedback from your participants or at least 3 peers to be able to improve. So again, as I mentioned, if you need help with your time management mastery, go ahead and tune into that course and grab the free resources that are available there. But every bit, like it's kind of like that golfer, like improving the golf swing. I can tell you, he has an accountability coach. Like if you think of like the top golfers in the world, he has an accountability coach. He has those positive messages and reinforcement going into his brain to be able, his or her brain, to be able to perfect the swing, knowing how to stand, knowing how to, hit the ball, like knowing, I don't know, I'm not a golfer, so I sometimes use analogies that don't make sense. Like I think of Tiger Woods and I'm like, yes, yeah, like he didn't get there by chance, and he didn't get there by letting the self-critic, the negative self-critic have the driver's seat. So I invite you to see like other success. If you pick something in your area, in your life where you are having success in, and unravel that, and like, how is that successful? What messages are you saying to yourself? So if it's, every single day or not every single day, like maybe you're successful in raising your children, or maybe you're successful in creating healthy meals or whatever, like understand why you're successful there, right? Maybe it's working out. Like maybe you're really consistent and really good at working out 3 or 5 days a week. Like look at success leaves clues. Look at, well, what's the dialogue there? Like how am I successful? How do I show up? Like for me, working out every day and moving my body is really important. So for me, I will set my clothes out the night before because I'm more apt to like habit stacking. That's just part of my routine, right? I set my clothes out the night before. I go through my morning meditation. I apply my makeup. I go do my exercise, and then I finish getting ready for the day and I go on. I don't even think about it really. Sometimes like, but once I do it, I feel fabulous. But it's habit stacking and it's creating habits to set you up for success. So think about like, what is it that you're doing that's setting you up for success and in those areas that you are successful, and how can you apply those to the areas where you need a little bit of work? So sustaining success, as we're kind of wrapping up here, successfully overcoming imposter syndrome doesn't mean that it's never going to resurface. Again, like I told you, like this resurfaces for me all the time. Like I can tell you, I'm better at recognizing it now. I love connecting with you online. I love connecting with my clients and my students and on my different platforms, whether it's, on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. I love it, but I still feel this sense of imposter syndrome. But once I get into flow and I allow myself, one, to recognize that fear means that I'm on the right track, right? And allowing myself to, and reprogram myself to say, like, I'm excited to do this. I want to do this. I am creating incredible training that's going to help empower and equip my soul clients and community to be able to build the freedom lifestyle businesses that they desire and deserve, to help them make the impact that they desire. Like that's what I'm committed to. That's what I'm excited about. It helps your brain say, oh, that's what she wants. That's what we're going to show up for. And then you're powerful and then you're confident, right? And then you feel really good. I can tell you, I'm going to pat myself. How do you celebrate success? It doesn't mean that you need to go and spend money or do something extravagant. It means that I give myself a hug and I say, well done, Shannon. You gave it your all. You showed up. You stayed in integrity with your word to yourself, and you served at the highest level of your ability with the knowledge and skills and expertise that you have to help someone be successful and to help you in this particular instance, to help you overcome imposter syndrome by sharing what's worked for me, by sharing case study examples of what's helped my clients and soul clients that I've worked with. So doing that for yourself, make this a habit. Everything is about problem solving and building new habits, right? So continually, for this long-term success, make it a habit. Regularly reflect on your feelings. This self-awareness is going to allow you to catch it. So again, like coming live, I could feel it. I acknowledged that it was there, but I reframed it. I psyched myself up. I want to do this. I love doing this. And I also have the result of how good it feels when I'm done, right? And how I know I showed up and gave it my all, and being that best cheerleader for yourself. And then again, maintaining the supportive network so you can continue nurturing the relationships you have, that you've built. This, will continue to support and validate you for your long-term success. So like putting yourself in that right mindset, putting yourself around the right people, embracing this lifelong learning. So you're continuing to strive to, one, keep uncovering what's there, right? Because they say every level new devil. It's because as you continue to stretch yourself as visionary thought leaders, as you continue to stretch yourself and bring more services out into the world, as you continue to do the things that you haven't done before, you're going to experience this all over again. So, but you're going to get better, right? You're going to get better and quicker about recognizing it. And you're going to have a toolkit that you can be able to pull out. Again, grab the Overcoming Imposter Syndrome guide that I have there for you. And it'll kind of go into more of a self-reflection process of what you can implement every single day, and measure your success. Like set your milestones, really start breaking down those long-term goals, those big pie in the sky goals, into smaller bite-sized milestones, and celebrate every step along the way, because that's going to continue to motivate you. It's going to continue to reinforce those positive habits and behaviors that are leading you towards success. Go ahead and make sure you're scheduling periodic check-ins with yourself and your mentor. Assess what's working, what's not working, and how to adjust your strategies going forward. And then keep a success journal or a win journal. Like, document your success. Again, no matter how big or small, over time, that is going to just really build up. And you're, again, like building that muscle over time, you're going to get stronger and stronger. And you're going to look back and you're like, oh, I remember when that was so hard. Now it's like natural, right? It's natural and part of your just daily routine. And it's who you are, because you are, as you're building your business, you are developing the mindset and the identity, right? It's an identity shift of being the successful online coach and course creator, of being a successful business owner. It's a mindset shift, right? From wanting and having this dream to being that embodiment of it now, right? Our brains don't future pace. Be that person now. Show up for that person now, and it will come. So in closing, I want you to remember that sustaining success and overcoming imposter syndrome is an ongoing journey. It's about staying vigilant. It's about being adaptive and committed to your personal growth. It's by continually managing these feelings and measuring your progress that you can maintain confidence and be self-assured in the work that you're doing, in the empire that you're building, right? The legacy. This isn't just a fly-by-night vision for you, right? This is your legacy that's going to continue to impact generations to come. So it's worth it. It's worth it. All right. So I hope you found today's training. Oh, I guess I have one more slide for you. Kind of some pitfalls is, again, like really, again, recognizing that negative self-talk and finding a solution. So if you like, the more you kind of just check in with yourself, that your body gives you signals, right? It's going to give you clues. Maybe you are having a headache, or maybe you're feeling scared, you're feeling fear. Like, look and check with it, just like you would a child, right? Like, what's going on? What are you afraid of? Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, take yourself down the rabbit hole. What's the worst that you could happen? Maybe somebody clicks off this video and doesn't watch it, and doesn't get the value out of it. Like, if that's the worst, then again, that doesn't mean that you're extracted from the pack, like, right? So, the worst that could happen is you have a failed launch. So is that really the worst thing that could happen? Well, no, because you at least put it out there, and now you have some data to be able to work with. If your launch did not go to plan, you have some data that you can work with, that you can see what worked, what didn't work, and what we can improve on. And so we can tweak it, rinse and repeat, right? And continue to get better. And then challenge that fear of failure. So embrace failure as part of the learning process, right? Like, how many times is that newborn baby that's just started learning to walk, like, how many times does a baby fall? How many times does they falter? Like, do we beat them up and say, like, you're not good enough or whatever if they fall? No, or the cheerleader. Give yourself that same grace, right? Be your own best cheerleader and watch how your life will transform. I promise you. And then making sure that you're understanding this reluctance to step outside of your comfort zone. We are hardwired, our brains are hardwired to keep us safe and protect us from perceived danger. So challenge it, see what's coming up, play it out. Like, what's the worst case scenario? Well, what's the best case scenario? Like, what truly is the best case scenario? How would that impact your life? How would that impact your family if you really bet on yourself and went in on yourself and did this daily ongoing mindset work to really overcome this imposter syndrome, right? So you could step into your confidence and step into your authenticity as a coach, as a course creator, as a thought leader in this industry. How would that change your life, right? So chase that, right? Chase that. So it's important, again, to, as you're overcoming these setbacks, acknowledge it. That's our baseline. Like, it's kind of like going to the doctor and seeing what we're working with. Like, here's where we're at. Here's our baseline. And let's make a plan. Like, here's our goal. We want to overcome said challenge. Here's our goal. And here's our action plan. That's what you want to do. Acknowledge it, analyze and learn and adjust and move forward, and just continue, rinse and repeat. And you will kick this to the curb, and you will get better, and you will you will move on to the next thing, right? Because then you're going to launch your course or your online coaching program. You're going to get incredible results. And in doing this work, you're going to start feeling the confidence that comes from doing the work and investing in yourself to get the support you need. So the mindset shift really is embrace this growth mindset. So a success-oriented mindset is characterized by positivity, resilience, focusing on growth. And you start by viewing these challenges again as opportunities for growth rather than threats. So you can put that fire out. So you can let your brain know there's no fire here, right? There's no fire here. And you can practice gratitude, because really leaning into your heart and practicing gratitude, having a problem in a business is a good thing to have, right? Because we are in the business of solving problems. So every time you hit a snag, like you can, again, that golf swing, like you can, whatever, baseball, you can hit the ball. You can hit the ball, and maybe you'll have a home run, maybe you won't, but at least you hit the ball. Like you can do this. I promise you can do this. Practice gratitude for showing up for yourself, for taking those small baby steps along the way, for getting those wins, for staying in integrity with your word, and you will continue to grow. And then making sure that you are setting those realistic expectations. So understanding that perfectionism is unattainable, and that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. Again, you're not born knowing how to do all of this stuff, right? You're not born knowing how to create courses and create content and marketing and sales and teaching online courses, right? Being able to help be that teacher and help your students get results. But it is skills that you can learn. I promise you, it's skills that you can learn and you can succeed at. So cultivating these positive beliefs, reinforcing this with affirmations. So make that recording for yourself or write them down, whatever works for you, on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, if you need to, if that's what it takes. And then I know in the beginning of my career that it took me a lot of work. Now it's just kind of like, oh, wait, where'd that come from? Nope, don't need that anymore. I'm going to tell myself the story of the success that I know I am, that you are born to be, that God's already given you the gifts, the talents, the expertise. Everything you need is already within you. We just need to get it out, right? We just need to get it out. So affirmations, visualization, regularly visualizing you achieving your goals. How does it apply all of your senses? How does it look? How does it feel? How does it smell? How does it taste? How does it sound? Right? Really, really get into that visualization. And some of my students have a harder time visualizing. That's okay. You can write out that vision for yourself. Entice your senses, right? Entice your senses, because our brains work by the images that we see in the words that we say to ourselves. So paint that picture of the image of the person that you want to be and do, and what you want to do and what you want to have now, and create that new story that's going to support you in those dreams and visions. Create that mindset shift for you. All right, I think we are wrapping up. I give you a lot here. There is a lot in this video. So if you need to stop it, internalize, come back, watch it again, I really invite you to go ahead and do so. Some of this is kind of recap. I've already kind of talked about this, but just try to stay calm, connect with your breath, really slowing your breathing down. Again, get you out of that fight or flight mode. So inhale for 7 counts and exhale for 11 counts, and do that cycle a couple of times. That will help regulate your nervous system and get you out of that fight or flight mode, so you can start really thinking from your intellectual brain, not just a rational, emotional brain. Seek the feedback. If you need some additional support, I invite you to join our free community, the Course Creator Collective, over on Facebook, where you can connect with like-minded coaches, consultants, course creators, service providers like you, all in different various stages of your online coaching business journey. So you can really help hold each other accountable, help give yourself the guidance and support that you need. We invite you to come over there, like get that feedback, adapt and adjust as you need, and then just really keep a diary, like really understanding what you learned from this experience. Every setback, perceived setback, has a lesson in it. Extract all of those gold nuggets, and keep what helps you and let go of the rest, right? Just let it go. It's just a learning opportunity for you. And then how did your reaction to this challenge align with your success-oriented mindset? So when you did take that action or didn't take that action, how did that align with the person that you desire to be now, right? Really understanding that and understanding what you can do differently next time. So it's setting yourself up for success, much less, like I said, I set my clothes out the night before with the mindset and the intention that I'm going to work out the next day because I'm setting myself up for success in advance. So there's less thought process, right? Like you want to minimize the number of decisions you have to make between A and B. So set yourself up for success in advance. All right, so here, finally, we are at your action steps. I hope you found today's training valuable. If you have, or if there are other videos that you would find helpful or have questions about in this video, go ahead and let me know below. But go ahead and create that confidence journal. Begin a dedicated journal practice that helps you track your success, no matter how big or small those steps are. It pays into the win bucket. There's so many things like neurologically it does for you with dopamine releases and really building those good neural pathways that help you develop that roadmap, instead of having this forest and all the trees and boulders and everything in the way. Like it reinforces new thought patterns that help to achieve your goals. So recognizing the wins helps you to be able to do that. Going through the new habit creation and implementing that and continuing to practice, test, tweak, rinse, and repeat continues to rebuild your strength and your confidence as an online coach or course creator. Challenge that inner critic. Really do the self-reflection work of understanding where those limiting thoughts and beliefs, those feelings of imposter syndrome, where are they coming from? It's just kind of like the analogy of like, once you flip the switch on in the light, like say you're in the dark room, once you flip the switch, which is your awareness of, oh, that's where that thought came from. That's the first time I remember hearing that. That's all you need it. It's like once the light's on, the light's on. Like you see it, oh, it's not really a threat. There's nothing to be done. And reinforcing that in your brain and saying, oh, I see this. There's nothing to be done. There's nothing to do. I am safe. It takes that brain out of the loop where it's in this loop stuck on repeat because it's kind of like having a virus in your computer. Like it keeps getting hung up and hung up and hung up until we clear the cache. Same thing in your brain, right? So again, we dive much more into this in my program and Called to Serve. So if that's something you could use some more support on, feel free to let me know. But go ahead and create this confidence journal, making sure you are challenging your inner critic on an ongoing basis and just like, oh, hey, I see you, like the inner critic in the mirror, but I've got you, right? I see you, but I've got you. We can do this. Do that superwoman pose, right? So it's kind of like putting your hands on your hip, looking in the mirror, head tilted up. Allow yourself to stay there for a few minutes and feel it. Or turn on another way of somatic shaking too, is like turn on Taylor Swift's song, Shake It Out, and just shake it out. Just let it go, right? Let all that stuff drain out of your body that no longer serves you. Let it go and choose the new empowered belief to help you step into your confidence and your authenticity as a coach and course creator. So do that and just start then analyzing. And success leaves clues, like I've said before. Recognizing like, well, how was I successful on that? Again, like, how did I show up? What language and dialogue was going on with my brain? And apply those in the other areas where you're struggling with, and you will be successful. So as we're wrapping up here, again, if you would like some more support, I invite you to join us inside the Course Creator Collective. This is your community where you get support with like-minded coaches and course creators, that you can share your challenges, your gains, your insights, and receive encouragement from your peers, collaboration opportunities. You can collaborate with fellow course creators, coaches that are on similar journeys where you can benefit with one another and get in front of each other's audiences to help, close the gap of where maybe you're an expertise in one particular part of the niche, but your client needs some more support. So say like online coaching, course creation, I can help you so much, but then maybe you need advanced strategies with like running Facebook ads. Like I run ads, but I don't feel competent enough in them yet to be able to teach them effectively. So that would be somebody I could pull in and collaborate with to help inside my programs. So think about that for your own programs. Also, there's a variety, a wealth, a vault full of resources and additional trainings linked inside the guide section inside that group there as well. And then just again, like if you want me to take a look at something, if you're struggling on something, feel free to ask in the group, get feedback from your peers, get feedback from me. We are there to help you every step of the way. And then if you want some additional support, I've given you some links here in the guide. Go ahead and make sure you download the guide as well. I'll show you here really quick. This guide here, if you go ahead and grab that and you scroll all the way down to the final page somewhere, I've given you all the links to be able to work with me. These are all hyperactive links. So if you want to go ahead and grab the free course creation, the ultimate course creation planner, that is linked below this video as well. And it walks you through all of the steps to take to implement to create your first online course. And then also if you want to jump on a free strategy call with me, as well as like all the way to working with me as either in my one-on-one capacity with my one-on-one client coaching programs and services or my group coaching program. So everything is there for you, all the links, all the tools, all the resources to empower you and equip you to help support your success in your online coaching and course creation journey. You can do this. I promise you can do it. I've overcome all of this stuff. My clients have overcome and continue to do the work to overcome, to just keep getting better and showing up for those people that you are called to serve and do the work and really create the freedom that you desire. You guys, you can do this. I promise you can. And again, if you haven't already, go ahead and hang on, remove back on camera. Let's see, on to stage. Here we go. One more. In closing, I want to thank you so much if you stayed with me to the end. I know this was a bit longer, but I don't want to just give you more information. I want to, in my training, my commitment to you is to give you all of the training and resources that you need to make that shift, to make that mindset shift, to empower you and equip you to be able to have success in this piece of it. So this piece of it of dealing with imposter syndrome, I hope that it has provided you value today. If this has, I invite you to give me a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to my channel so you are the first to be notified when new videos like this drop every week, new support, resources, all of the things. And share this video if you know of anybody that's struggling with imposter syndrome or could use some more support around growing and scaling a successful and sustainable online coaching business. Go ahead and share the videos out there. This helps to grow my channel and helps me to get my message in front of more people like you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate your time. And if I can serve you in any other way, just let me know. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.